So real estate has always been a high stakes game, and right now the landscape is a little rocky for residential real estate. The economy is shaky. We have high mortgage rates, we have high home prices. So today I wanted to go over 5 massive mistakes home buyers may be tempted to make in today's residential real estate market. So if you didn't know, my name's Kyle Olson. I'm a real estate agent and real estate investor, and right now I've never seen so much anxiety in the real estate market. So I wanted to go over a few different tips today that can help you prepare and things you can avoid when purchasing a home. So number 1, trying to time the market. Here's a few questions to ask yourself. What if you buy now and prices and rates go up? Well, you win by starting to build home equity, gaining the tax benefits that come with home ownership. Another question I see a lot, what if you buy now and prices drop? Well, you won't really feel that until you sell, which in most cases might be years down the line, so you haven't really lost. This is a big question I get all the time. And right now, especially, I recommend you make sure that holding on to your house, you have years in advance, you see to the future. Right now, I wouldn't suggest my clients, if you're looking to hold a house for 1 year, 2 years, that you purchase right now. Maybe renting might be a better choice. But if you have a longer time horizon to stay in that house and right now is perfect for you, then go ahead, jump into the real estate market. Another question I get, what if you buy now and interest rates go down? You can always refinance your mortgage when rates get low enough that it makes sense to do so. With that being said, if you're planning to refinance in the future and you're really stretching yourself right now to purchase a house and you just want to jump in, well, I also want to make sure that interest rates don't always have to go down. A lot of mortgage lenders right now are predicting that rates will go down in 2024, but at the beginning of this year, I had a lot of lenders saying that we would see rates be in the 5s at the end of 2023, and that just hasn't happened. We actually see mortgage rates continue to tick up. So just keep that in mind. If you can't afford it now, then it might not be a good time to buy, even though you will probably be able to refinance in the future and get that lower mortgage rate. Another question I get, what if you don't buy now and prices and rates keep going up? Well, if that's the case, you might be stuck renting for a lot longer than you hope. With that being said, again, no one can predict the real estate market, and mortgage rates in economics are actually one of the hardest things to predict. So keep that in mind. If you can jump in right now with all the noise and it's right for you and your family, then right now might be the best time for you to get into the residential real estate market. So number 2, worrying only about mortgage payments. So one of the biggest mistakes I see home buyers making is not taking into consideration all of the costs associated with getting approved and for owning a home. So a lot of the times I see buyers have an idea in their head of the monthly payment without factoring in homeowners insurance, mortgage insurance, taxes, and any other costs associated with the homes. Let's just say your water heater goes out, your AC unit goes out, there's 10 grand, there's $4,000 right out of your pocket. So a lot of the times I don't see home buyers accounting for that when they look to purchase a home. A lot of the times I see buyers make the mistake of looking at homes and just going on Zillow and looking at the potential monthly payment, which leads me into the next thing is I see people neglecting to check their credit score throughout the year. This has a large impact on the mortgage rate that you're going to get, because just because you see Zillow give you a 7.5% rate, if you have a not so good credit score, well, then your mortgage rate is going to be higher. So make sure that you're checking your credit score throughout the year and not neglecting that. So here's a little tip. You should not have the total housing cost be more than 28% of your gross monthly income, and your total debt payment should not exceed 36% of your monthly income. So number 4, don't make this mistake, buying a home too fast or sight unseen. Back in the pandemic, people were purchasing houses out of state like clockwork, sight unseen. But here's the issue. You can't smell the inside of the house. The photos are meant to make the house look phenomenal. You can't hear trains, you can't hear planes, you can't see the neighborhood itself until you have boots on the ground. So buying sight unseen might not be the best idea. If you got to pay extra and you're moving out of state to just get that flight and spend that $350 in lodging just to go see the house you actually want, I would highly suggest you do that, because until you're in that house, you don't know exactly what's going on. Buying a home too fast. This was happening a lot in the pandemic. Right now, thankfully for buyers, since mortgage rates are higher, you have high home prices, you're slowly seeing buyers get out of the market. You have a little leeway as a buyer right now to negotiate a little bit with sellers, and you can take your time and hopefully get credits for repairs on housing. This wasn't the case a couple years ago, but if you're a buyer, take your time. You don't need to move quick. So number 5, falling in love with a house you can't afford. I see a number of home buyers right now falling in love with homes they simply can't afford. They got pre-approved before and they're still looking as if mortgage rates are in the 4% range, and that's just not the case. So make sure that although your lender is giving you a certain amount of purchasing power, make sure that you and your family have sat down and gone over all of your expenses, because keep in mind, these lenders are approving you to the max amount. They're not taking in consideration the trips you want to go on, the money you spend on your kids, the money you spend on yourself. So keep that in mind. And right now we're actually seeing a lot of loans fall out of escrow because interest rates keep going higher and buyers don't lock in those mortgage rates when working with a lender, or they have a change in their job and they simply cannot close the loan. So keep that in mind. Fall in love with the math before you fall in love with the house. Guys out there, if you're searching for houses with your wife, keep that in mind. Write down the numbers, show your wife that, this is what we can afford. Even though we want to stretch ourselves, it would not make sense financially. And I know that's a hard thing to do, but fall in love with the math before you fall in love with the house. And if you're working with the right mortgage lender, then you should have no issue making sure that they're accounting all of your monthly expenses, in understanding your lifestyle, sitting down with you and making sure they understand what you're looking for in what your budget is and how you want to live your life. This is crucial when working with the mortgage lender, that you convey what you're looking for and what you want to spend on this house. Not working with a mortgage lender who's just going to pre-approve you to the maximum amount and not take into consideration your lifestyle. So when I say fall in love with the math and not the house, fall in love with your mortgage lender and get the right pre-approval for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next one.